Control 1K11, code 3. I was still an assistant county department head, but I had 7 divisions reporting to me.
The people that live next door to us just shot himself, and I'd like to have the ambulance out here, please.
And so I had hands-on tuning equipment installing.
1Q21. Motorcycle 456, 946.
Come up and with these people looking, and he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "This is one of our best dispatchers."
He just passed me down nursery again. Permission from the sergeant to knock him off the road.
10-9 to 1020.
Just past Neil.
Hopefully when you got them all done, they would work.
Control 1K275, 107 office. 1K275.
Jack Atkinson. Jack was the brains on what to do with the department.
Emergency, Miss Moncrief.
Yeah, this radio. Santa Clara PD's escorting 2 women in.
So I had a first-class FCC license when I got into dispatching, and later on that proved invaluable.
Calling all cars, attention all cars. A hold up at the Bureau of Power and Light. That's all.
Calling all cars. The story of the evolution of public safety communication.
It was probably about 20 by 20 in size. It had a desk in one corner, which was Bob Mason's. Then in the middle of the room, it had a 250 watt Motorola VHF transmitter and receiver. And the antenna went through the roof of that building and clear up to the top of the courthouse, then was mounted on the elevator.
The code card was my guide also. My grandfather gave me a table radio, and I quickly learned how to readjust the oscillator so it would tune to the police band just above the broadcast band. Started listening to the calls and wondered what all the numbers meant.
Field repair radio. We had a very elaborate, extensive preventive maintenance program, so we would take all the radios every 6 months and go to the site where they were most of the time, check all those tubes in those Motorola radios. There's like 23 tubes in some of them, and some had 25 for their tube frequency. We pulled each tube out, we tapped on it with a tube tapper, we tested them.
I considered going to work for the county because I considered it a step up the ladder. It was so professional, they were so talented and multifaceted.
We could sit there and I'd be working something on the sheriff's office side, and a guy sitting next to me would be with Campbell Police Department dispatcher. And there wasn't this thing on telephones and stuff like that. You had instant communications with both departments.
Building, it's not far from where we are now, and he was the only dispatcher on duty, and I went over and he was drunk. And I picked him up bodily, threw him out in the yard and told him to come back when he was sober, and sat down. I had to operate the rest of the shift, which didn't make me too happy because I was a dispatcher. And the next morning he'd come into the sheriff and wanted his job back. Well, I told him, come get your keys if you sober up enough. So about daylight he did come up the door, and I figured he was sober enough to drive, so I gave him his keys back.
I mean, we would never be able to do that in this day and age. You know, we would have to bring in our human resources people. We would have to give them the opportunity to, go to EAP, and we would have to give them the time off to fix the problem.
Absolutely loved it.
I went to work every day knowing there was a task, and I felt good about what I was going to do.
Without a doubt, that's the best place I ever worked.
The opportunity for working in a truly professional agency, I was captivated by it.
I've had a good career and I've been happy in it.
Time marches on.